As Skyloom continues to improve Luminar, one of the things coming this fall is a brand new masking engine. Now, Skyloom was kind enough to share a prototype of the new Luminar masking engine with me, so that way I can share it with you and you can get a first look or a sneak peek of what is to come with the fall upgrade. Now, I'd like to be clear, this is a prototype. This is not the final version. This is not a fully functioning version of Luminar that I'm using in today's video. The final version will be much better and it will have more functionality. I'll also note that I only have access to the develop module or the develop filter in this prototype, and I don't have access to the color mask or the luminosity mask, and so I can't showcase those in today's video. However, what we can do is glean how this new masking engine is going to help us improve our workflows and work with mask overall inside of Luminar. Now let's dive in and take a look. All right, so here we are inside of the Luminar prototype. Now, as I mentioned, I only have access to the develop module. So when I click here, you'll see that it expands. And right away, you can see that we now have a add mask option at the top, and it's a really big button. And so one, you won't overlook the masking feature, which I think is really helpful. In the current version of Luminar, the masking feature can be a little overlooked or maybe feels a little disjointed for new users. But now it's right here at the top of your filter. So as soon as you open it, you can just click Add Mask. And when you do, you'll notice that you get this pop-up. Now, again, this is a prototype and I'm not sure if it's going to stay in this layout. I hope it does, because to me, the pop-up that comes after you click the mask button is actually really, really helpful. You get these 4 big buttons here at the top, which I think are pretty self-explanatory and helpful. And then down below, you get your what I like to call the original masking tools, all right, the OG masking tools. And every program must have these, in my opinion. And so it's nice to just see that they're laid out in a way that isn't cluttered, because there are a lot of masking options that are provided to us here, but this is a really simplified version. So I like how this is laid out and I hope that it stays. All right. Now, again, I don't have access to color or luminosity in this prototype, so I cannot demonstrate those. But what I'm going to do is grab the linear gradient, which is just a regular linear gradient, and I'm going to darken the bottom of the photo here. Now, this is nothing new. This is normal functionality that we have inside of Luminar right now. But if I come back over here to the actual masking property section here, you'll notice that I have a little backwards area. And so if I click this, it's going to bring me back to the image. And I also have this new masking drop down. Okay, that masking button has now transformed into a drop down, and we'll come back to this here in a second. I'm just going to make an adjustment of darkening the bottom of the photo, because I think that that makes sense, just darkening the bottom of the photo. And I'm going to like overdo it just for YouTube's sake, so that way the compression, it actually shows up and things like that. But with that being said, now that I have this portion darkened, let's jump back over here to this drop down. If I click the drop down, you'll see that I'm looking at just linear gradient, and that's what's making up this overall mask. So that's the first change, really helpful. But if I come over here to this little target looking icon, this is going to give me the ability to add to the mask, subtract from the mask, or intersect from the mask. Now, this is getting to be on par with other editing software, so it's great to see this being added into Luminar. I think that this is going to be helpful for a lot of people who want to make more complex selections or just more unique selections overall. Now, I'm going to go over to subtract, and you'll notice that we get that same pop-up window. And this is the reason why I really like the way that it's laid out. It's simple, it's easy to understand, and it's just streamlined, because I can think like, okay, well, what type of mask would I like to subtract from my linear gradient? Well, I think of subtracting a radial gradient. And so I'm going to click radial gradient and I get the option to subtract my radial gradient. And so maybe I didn't want to darken this area that's down here in the valley. So I can just go ahead and click and drag, and it's going to put a perfect circle. Once it's done, you can reshape it like you would normally want to do. Now, with the prototype, I'm not able to like really finesse it and fine tune it. But again, this is just to glean from what we can do with the new version of the masking engine, right? And so now that I have that added there, I'll come back over to my develop tool and click the little backwards arrow. And that brings us right back here into our adjustment section. Now, if I click this drop down, you'll notice I now have two masks inside of this one little drop down section. And so it started with a linear gradient, and then I subtracted a radial gradient from the area that the linear gradient was selecting. Again, this works just like other software where you're able to create these compound masks. And I think that, again, it's a welcome change inside of Luminar. I really do enjoy having this capability. Now, if you look over to the right here, there's a 3-dot menu. So when I click that, you can see I now have the ability to either come in and edit. I can move this down in the overall functionality. I can invert this particular mask, or maybe I want to duplicate it, or maybe I want to hide it or delete it. But let's click on edit and look, it brings you back into the window where maybe I didn't quite center this on the valley area that I wanted to. So I can move this down and then I can go back, and now I've repositioned that mask inside of the compound system. Super, super helpful. Okay. And so once you're done making all of your adjustments, Luminar works as you would expect it to, where you just click on the develop to close it down. And then if I want to add in maybe another develop module, where let's go ahead and open up, or let's bring down some highlights and see if we can bring anything back in that sky. Maybe something like so. Well, that's going over the entire photo. And so I can click on add mask at the top. And then what I can do is grab another linear gradient, pull this down just like so, and then come back over here to my linear gradient. So I get back to the mask area. Again, this is only going over that top portion, but I only want it in the sky. I don't necessarily want it on these mountains. And so what I can do is click the plus icon again. And then this time we're going to use intersect. And I'm going to intersect with a brush. Now, with the brush, what I can do is go ahead and paint over the sky. And you'll notice that only where I'm painting, the mask will go. Now, again, this is not perfect, and I'm not intending to make this perfect, because when the final version comes out, you'll be able to do this. So this is more of just like a proof of concept of what you can do. And so now that I have my brush painted over the sky, which again, I know that it's not the perfect paint job, so don't put that in the comment section. Well, now I only have the sky selected here, and it's all masked just the way that you would expect it to be. And I don't have it over the mountains. So that's one of the benefits of this. Now, why would you want to do something like that? If I hit this drop down and I come back to my linear gradient, and let's go with edit. Well, now if I move this up, look at what happens to that mask with the intersect. It's only going to be in the place where both the brush and the linear gradient cover the sky, or cover the area that I painted, which was just the sky. All right. So if you want to get like gradual fades, maybe that's something that you've always wanted to be able to get. Well, you can do that now with the new version of Luminar's masking engine. And so I'll go ahead and back that off. That looks a lot more natural. And that's because I have the ability to intersect the mask with another mask. Now, the last thing that I'll go over here is just the overlay options. You have a few different colors that you can add in with your overlays, right? So maybe I want to see things in green, because if you're working on something that's red, having a red overlay is not very helpful. So let's go ahead and make that green. And then we'll just jump back into the brush and we'll click edit. And you'll notice I now have a green overlay. And again, you can change these overlays while you're actually working in the tool. That's super helpful. So if I want to go with violet, if I can just keep my mouse, you know, this gives you a good look at what it is that you're selecting without having to go like overboard or have any issues. That is just a quick sneak peek of the new masking engine coming to Luminar in the fall upgrade. If it's something that you think you're interested in picking up, you can go ahead and save a little bit of money by using the coupon code and the link in the description box below. And for a few more days, you will be able to save on the pre-order of the Luminar purchase if this is a first-time purchase. And if you want to go ahead and pick up a Luminar Prime, you can do the same there. So check the link in the description box below. It'll be broken down for new purchasers of Skyloom as well as those who need to purchase the Prime option. With that being said, I hope this video was helpful. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are about the new masking engine that is to come with Luminar. Until next time, I want you to stay inspired and keep creating. Peace.